I used to think that one of the best parts about graduating from college and going into like a corporate job and never having to take an exam again is never having to deal with the anxiety of obviously flunking an exam and then having to check your grade. But honestly, in adulthood, that feeling has just been reinvented into when you go through a weekend, go out, spend a little bit too much money, and then have to check your credit card statement the next day. At least in school, when you took an exam, there was like if it's like a multiple choice exam, there's like an off chance that maybe if the stars aligned, you got a grade higher than you expected. But in the real world, there is no chance that if you thought you spent $200 at a bar, you didn't spend $200. In fact, most of the time, it turns out you spent 300 or 400. Also in college, if an exam is hard, usually if you're of like an average intelligence person, most of the class thought it was hard and most of them got bent over just like you did. But in adulthood, that doesn't really translate. It's not likely that everyone else made the same mistakes you did last weekend. And in college, like if you got a bad grade, you could kind of blame the teacher and get away with it, and people would be all right with that. But in real life, if you make bad financial decisions, there's no one else to blame. If you spent the entire night going after a girl and you bought all her friends multiple rounds of shots each, and then she left with the guy that she came in with, that's just something you got to take on the chin, man. That was a very specific situation, and that clearly never, ever, ever happened. That was a hypothetical situation, by the way.